All right, Tuesday night, Krug Show in a phenomenal mood tonight. Bye week, Raj is in the house, Warriors on the tube, Niners at the Warrior game, lots of stuff going on. Let's go. Off and running Tuesday night, Raj is in the house. Raj, we have no Niner anything. I mean, you could be in a prison right now. You could be in a minimum security prison. Raj is at Club Fed right now. He's not in his normal studio. You could be behind walls right now in a minimum security prison because there's no Niner gear. You have no Niner stuff. You've got no background. I mean, seriously, I mean, you really could be anywhere right now. You could be in a motel somewhere. You could be, I mean, on the moon. I mean, pretty much anywhere. Your backdrop is as plain gets. There's no Pennants. There's no Kittle. There's no Trent. There's no Greenlaw. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It's just me. Quarters. I got the quarters. I had to put the
quarter zip.
Yeah,
very professional. That's a very.
I want a macho with the quarters. That's like the trending stuff. But real quick before we start, it's my fault we're late. I was yapping up to Larry. I had to like talking this and that, so it's my fault we're late. Usually it's Larry's fault, but it's my fault today. But we're excited. Niners got the bye week. I love it.
Oh, it's awesome. And people in the chat already, saying this and saying that. 49er throwback. Hit the like and subscribe button. Faithful. We got the shout out for Pig and a Pickle. Yes, Pig and a Pickle, the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Check them out there in Corte Madera. They're in Emeryville, and they got a third location opening in Petaluma coming up shortly. We'll also be there next Sunday for the Krug Show meet and greet. Stop by, say hello, have some barbecue, maybe win a Krug Show merch, or maybe win the autographed Ricky Pearsall helmet. That will be pretty cool. So we got that coming up next Sunday during the bye week in Corte Madera. So stop by, say hello, and have some brisket and maybe do some Christmas shopping. It's a terrific mall out there. You'll really like it. Somebody says, Krug, put down the barbecue and start the show. What if I was just munching barbecue when I'm not on the air 24/7, I'm mainlining barbecue. I mean, it's just an endless barbecue fest here. All right, but let's get right into it. And there's a couple of sound bites I want to get into right away. We got a bunch of things we want to talk about, from Brandon Aiyuk to everything else, how the Niners look at the bye week, how realistic is the Super Bowl. All of these topics are going to be broached, but let's share the screen and show you a little soundbite, and we'll react to it. It's a pretty good one here. Well, first of all, I think I thought I retweeted this a second ago. Let me see if I can share this. This is my deal. Now, I just retweeted the Niners at the game, but I don't see it here for some reason. All right, we'll go with this one. This is Emmanuel Acho talking about Kyle Shanahan. And this is kind of interesting. Coach Yak put this out, but here it is. Here is Emmanuel Acho, and you've got Shady McCoy. And I'm not sure who the other guys are, to be honest. I forget who these other two guys are. But here it is. And here's Acho talking about Shanahan. Listen to this.
Weeks. You lose your defensive player of the year in Nick Bosa.
From the top. There we go.
Kyle Shanahan is the epitome of a head coach. Kyle Shanahan, he's the epitome of a head coach.
Yeah.
What Kyle Shanahan has done with the backup quarterback when Mac Jones had to start for
Shady
5 or 6 weeks. You lose your defensive player of the year in Nick Bosa. You lose another defensive player of the year candidate in Fred Warner, and you still find a way to be 9-4 after 13 weeks in football. Absolutely astounding. That's a head coach. Offense didn't flutter. Offense didn't sputter. Who's going to be the play caller? No. Kyle Shanahan is a head coach. If you want to figure out what a head coach looks like, look no further than Kyle Shanahan. How is this team 9-4 in the toughest division in football, at least in the toughest division in the NFC? This Niners team, the train should have gone off the tracks. No Purdy, no Fred,
no Bosa.
No Bosa. Train should have gone off the tracks. Hell, going into the season, Greenlaw, gone. Hufanga, gone. Charvarius Ward, gone. Warner, gone. Bosa, gone. 40 to 50% of the defense gone. And they're 9-4. Kittle, 3-4 games of the season gone. Jennings missed games. Aiyuk hasn't played a snap.
Wow.
Has not played a snap.
A 9-4.
And they're 9-4. Kyle Shanahan, if you are looking for what does a head coach look like in the NFL, it is Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. And also, wow. When I think about guys like Sean McVay, shout out to everything he's done. Sean McVay has only ever coached number 1 overall picks, not first round picks.
Yeah.
He has only ever coached number 1 overall picks. As good as Andy Reid is, and Andy Reid's the greatest offensive mind ever. Donovan McNabb, I believe, number 2 overall pick in the draft. Mike Vick, number 1 overall pick in the draft. Patrick Mahomes, number 10 overall pick in the draft. Kyle Shanahan, he coaching Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Like, if you really think about it, you could make a strong argument that Kyle Shanahan is a top 3 coach in football, and he's not 3. If you don't box score watch. If you just really think about what he's done with who he's done it with and what this Niner team is doing, these Niners are different, bro.
What do you think? What do you think? Shanahan coach of the year? Vrabel's got the best record. He's a rookie coach with the Pats. Ben Johnson's won, 9 out of 10 or something like that with the Bears. He's turned the Bears around. I mean, that's a major turnaround. What do you think, Raj? Acho's basically saying Shanahan should be the coach of the year. Would you give it to him, or I mean, I will say this. I mean, he makes some really, really good points. The Niners are 9-4. Aiyuk has yet to play. Kittle's been out. Jennings has been out. Pearsall's been out. Bosa's gone. Warner's gone. McKell's gone. Purdy missed 8 games. They're playing in the best division in the league. And he even mentioned in the offseason, they kissed goodbye to Greenlaw, Ward, Hufanga, Collins, Floyd, Debo, Mason. I mean, they said goodbye to a whole football team full of guys, basically.
Yeah,
what do you think? Is Shanahan coach of the year?
At the end of the day, man, I said this, not just because I'm a Niner fan, but and shout out to Mike Vrabel. I mean, turn around the Patriots. Got an easy schedule, but I'm not going to hold out against them because it's the Patriots. Nobody expects the Patriots to be what they were after they lost, arguably the best coach and quarterback in NFL history, Belichick and Brady. But they're good. They're leading the AFC East. They're better than the Bills. It's crazy. Ben Johnson, rookie coach, coming in, making Caleb and the Bears relevant. Like, that's crazy. But you put those 2 coaches in the 49ers position, losing all these players and all the stuff that you mentioned and Acho mentioned, they're not winning 9 games. No coach is winning 9 games this year. It's fucking crazy. Like, the Niners have been through adversity for a lot of years with Kyle Shanahan. They've always had injuries. They've weathered the storm, always next man up. But this year's probably the worst year of injuries. Like, it's crazy. Bosa and Fred Warner, come on, man. And you're right. Like, Acho's right. They don't have a first-round quarterback. They did once, a first-round quarterback. It didn't go too well. But other than that, you throw Brock Purdy in, who's a seventh-round pick, and now he's your franchise quarterback. You had to weather the storm with so many players. You got people coming off the practice squad. They sign every week. Here's a new practice squad player, and then he becomes a starter. You demoted your safety. He comes back. He's NFC Player of the Week last week. Jair Brown. So it's what Kyle Shanahan's doing it's incredible. And a lot of Niner fans, they hate Kyle themselves because I know he has won a Super Bowl. He's choked here, this, that, but he's done a hell of a job, man. I don't think any coach in this league would put this team where they're at. 9-4 is crazy. I know you can sit here and talk about the schedule, but it's a lot. I think it's been harder than what it has been. What it expected. Like, it was supposed to be the easiest schedule in the league. It's not the easiest schedule in the league. They played some tough opponents. He brought in the right coaches this offseason. He made the big decisions. Let's get rid of, Brian Schneider. Let's get rid of Nick Sorensen. Let's go bring in Saleh. Let him bring in Bradley. Let him bring in Brant Boyer. All those decisions helped shape this team. The coaching staff has been great. I think Kyle Shanahan deserves head coach of the year, man. Like, it's crazy, though, because he's probably not going to get it because there are the Vrabels, the Ben Johnson. Like, it's crazy that they've turned around bad teams. But the Niners were a last-place team also last year. They were a 6-win team. Maybe not last, but they were a bottom-feeding team. And now they're close to the top. If things play out.
And also look at the NFL, Raj. I mean, the NFL is so much about the quarterback. And the 49ers they won with their backup quarterback for 8 games. 8 games. The Bears didn't go 8 games without Caleb.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Drake May didn't miss no 8 games. You know what I mean? So I kind of think what Shanahan's done is even more impressive because now, granted, I think Mac Jones is pretty damn good, and I don't think he's a creation of Shanahan. I mean, let me get that clear right now. I think Mac Jones is damn good. I really do. He's accurate. I watch this guy practice. He's accurate. He's really accurate. I think that's really the most exciting thing about the 49ers right now is that a lot of these teams don't even have one good quarterback, and the 49ers have 2 good quarterbacks. 2 good quarterbacks. I mean, we can talk about how good and this and that, but they basically, if you want to just simplify, they have 2 good quarterbacks. I don't know. Is Purdy, is he the 8th best? Is he the 10th best? Is he the 12th best? I don't know, but I'll say right now, I think he looks like, outside of Stafford, the best quarterback in the NFC playoffs. He looks like the best quarterback in the NFC playoffs. I really believe that. I think he's already gone to a Super Bowl. None of these other guys have. Goff's never gone to a Super Bowl. Prescott's never gone to a Super Bowl. You know, I mean, Love, you know, last I looked at Love in the playoffs, he was throwing late across the middle to Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah.
So don't tell me, you know what I mean? Don't tell me he's the guy. So I think that's, you know, I mean, Shanahan's having a great year because he's been getting it done with a bunch of injuries. But I don't think he's going to win it. I really don't. I don't think.
It's unfortunate. Like, he's not even the front runner. Like, he should be the front runner. He's not going to win it because, again, a lot of new coaches come in and they retool the team. And it's crazy because Kyle Shanahan, a couple years back, he lost it to Brian Daboll, who turned the Giants around. Like, it was like, come on, man. And he had a great season that year. Like, it's crazy. Kyle has been in his bag, in his duffel bag, as the youngsters say, but it's not going to be enough because, you know, you have Ben Johnson, who, again, I got a lot of credit for. I've given him a lot of credit. Now we'll see how they finish out the season because there's still a couple more weeks. The Niners might, this call me crazy. There's still a chance they can get the number 1 seed, which is actually crazy. And you know what's wild? I know the Bears are the number 1 seed. They have the same amount of wins as the Niners at the number 7 seed, which is crazy. You play it out the right way, the Niners could go, if they win their next 4 games, which they could, and the Bears lose because they got a tough schedule. We talked about it last week. Seattle might lose a game. Rams might lose a game. The Niners might end up as the number 1 seed. If the 49ers, listen, Larry, if the 49ers are the number 1 seed with this ragtag group of players, practice squad guys, youngsters, rookies, second-year players, banged-up players, some of their superstars are still there, this man better win the Coach of the Year. It's actually criminal if he doesn't win it. I don't care about Mike Vrabel. I don't care about Drake May. I don't care about any. Give Kyle the damn Coach of the Year. If they become the number 1 seed in the NFC, they got to hand it to. Just give them the award.
Look at this, by the way. You just said the Niners could be the number 1 seed.
They could.
I don't know if you know this guy or not. I don't know if I know him or not, but let me put it up here. I think I've traded some stuff with him. His name's Akash.
Yeah, I know my boy Akash. My boy.
You know Akash?
I know. I mean, Akash go way back. I had him on my page many
times. I think I might have had Akash on one time.
Oh my God.
Akash Anavarantan.
I'm Indian. Of course I know Akash. That's my brother. That's my guy.
Hey, what was I? Should I just assume that all Indian people know other Indian people?
No, but I'm saying that's about in the Niners.
What if I just come out with hey, I know your best buddy here. You guys know, of course, you know him. You're Raj Melwani. He's Akash. You guys are, of course, buddies. I mean, don't you think that would sound bad?
No, I would not have taken any offense. Other people might, but I'm old school. And that's my Akash.
I'm just making sure.
I know.
Anyway, he's a big Niner community guy. He's also a big Niner poster, and I know that you're Mr. Niner, so I knew that you knew him. I was just I was poking you. I was poking you a little bit. Yeah. But Akash has this out, and this is pretty interesting. Now, he says, kind of realistic scenario to get here. Okay, and listen to these options here. And if we go right down to it, I mean, I kind of think he's 100% right here. I think this could happen. Niners beat Titans out of the bye. I think that's likely. Mm-hmm. Packers beat Bears. I think that's likely. Now, maybe not, but I think the Packers will have a. I think Packers have a mental edge on the Bears, and I think the first one's at Lambeau, so I think I'll take Packers there. Packers lose to Broncos. Okay, I could see that. Seattle beats Falcons. I definitely could see that. Seattle then loses to the Colts. I don't know where that game is, but that's picturable. Okay. Rams beat Cardinals. That's going to happen. Lose to Lions. You know what? That could definitely happen. Eagles beat Chargers. That's not a lock, but it could happen. And the Eagles also beat the Raiders, and you know that's going to happen. Okay. And then Bears lose to Packers, but then beat Browns. All those things sound very, very viable. If that happens, the Niners going into the final 3 games would be 10-4 and in the number 1 seed going into the final 3 games.
It can
now,
happen.
How amazing would that be? And let's just say this. Niners Colts, Niners Bears, Niners Seahawks, the last 2 at home, the Colts on the road. Guess what? Yes, it's a tough stretch. The Niners are going to be favored in all 3 games. So isn't that interesting? The 49ers could very easily wind up coming out of the Tennessee game and into the final 3 weeks of the season as the number 1 seed with a 10-4 record, entering into 3 games, 2 of them which will be at home, and they will be favored in all 3. And obviously, if they win all 3, they remain the number 1 seed. They probably would remain the number 1 seed if they win 2 out of 3. But who knows?
They could win them all, Larry. Listen, let me tell you. Titans, I don't want to say guaranteed win, but it's almost guaranteed. They're the worst team in football. Cam Ward, he's about to get clapped up by Saleh and Clelin Ferrell and Bryce Huff, and Sam O is going to be back, and everybody else, and my boy Keon White. They're going to eat him alive. Okay, so win. It's not guaranteed, but I'm going to guarantee it. Okay. Out at the Colts, I know everybody, a few weeks ago, you would have asked me this question, Larry. I was like, I think we might lose to the Colts. Danny Dimes has a fractured fibula this man's playing. They're not playing as good. They're kind of coming off a lot of loss. They got 3 straight losses. Danny Dimes is limping into the playoffs, the stretch run.
DeForest is on the IR.
DeForest is on the IR, although he should be back against us. I was looking at, he might be back against us. But coming off the IR, he might be a little rusty, but he will have a chip on his shoulder playing the whole team. But the Colts is not as much of a gimme for them as it was a few weeks ago. I think we could beat them. And the Bears, listen, I think we could beat the Bears. That right there is a big game. But just like Bryce Young the other week, biggest game of Caleb Williams' career. It's going to be Sunday Night Football. This is a big game. National media, the 49ers, Levi Stadium, bright lights. It's going to be too big for the lights are going to be too bright. Although I know he won the Black Friday game against Philly, but it wasn't primetime game. Primetime's a little different. Sunday Night Football, Niners. I think it's going to be too much for the Bears. Ben Johnson, great coach. Kyle Shanahan, like I said, coach of the year. You beat Ben Johnson, you win coach of the year. And then the final game of the year, Seahawks in Levi's, rivalry jerseys, dripping with the black.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that Niners-Seahawks game?
That's going to be like, it's crazy because at the beginning of the season, I was like, oh, come on, it's like a dumb game. It's not going to matter. Why are we wearing our rivalry jerseys at the end of the season? Now it might be the biggest game of the season. That might determine number 1 seed, NFC West. You win that game, Larry, you're number 1 seed. I'm telling you, Niners have a realistic chance to be number 1 seed. It's crazy. They're all winnable games.
Here's the other thing. Who's going to play well in the playoffs? And it's like, I could totally envision the Niners playing well in the playoffs. Why? Because they've already been given up for dead. They've already been given up for dead. But I'll tell you, there is something building with the Bears.
They're good.
There is something really, really special about what they got going on. And, you know, there's something about it that's just, here's their locker room scene from the last game. Here it is. Here it is. I don't know if I want to show you this, but here it is.
You might want to.
I know you guys are hungry for more, right? Itching.
Oh my God! Not many coaches can do that. Andy Reid, you ain't seen him. He won't be doing that, Larry.
Oh, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Somebody would have to. I got to get this cheer though. This cheer. No, what the heck is this cheer? First of all, they're hungry for some hot. Your good gets better. And then the guy said, "Till your good gets better, and your better gets best." What the heck does that mean? Bears on 3. Only the Bears would have some totally illogical saying. There you go. They're good though, and they're running the ball, and they're so young, and they're before their time, so they're being fueled by the newness of it all. Yeah. So they're not getting worn down. A lot of teams are getting worn down as the season goes on. You can kind of see the Bears. They got more of a little hop in their step still because there's a lot of young guys and they're pretty excited. The city's excited. It's just a different deal for them this year. You know what I mean? So nice. I hope the Niners. First of all, I hope the Niners take them apart at Levi's. Just send a message.
I think they will. Again, it's going to be this is the biggest game I think for Caleb Williams coming up in a few weeks because that could determine whether they're number 1 seed or whatnot. But it's going to be a big game for him. Let me see. The Bears have a really tough schedule. Let me tell you. That's why
I was saying before that Philly game going into the Friday last week, I'm like, I don't know if the Bears are going to win again. And then not only did they beat Philly, they beat Philly in Philly, and they beat them impressively in Philly.
Beat them good. I can't hate on them. Look, they got the Packers this Sunday coming up. Okay, they got the Packers in Lambeau.
Right. I mean, come on, Green Bay's going to win that game.
They probably going to win that game. And if they don't, holy smokes. And then they got the Browns. That's a win. Okay, you win that game. So that's 10 wins. And then they play the Packers again, this time in Chicago.
Right.
And then they play the Niners. They could be looking ahead to us in that Packers game. And they play the Niners. And then they finish the season against the Lions, man. That's a tough stretch.
The Lions are going to need that game.
They're going to need to play their ass off. And that's, Ben Johnson versus his former team. Dan Campbell wants to get that monkey up and beat him because last time the Bears beat him, it's not easy for the Bears. And again, the Niners, when they play the Niners, they could be looking ahead to playing the Lions and whatnot. So I don't know, but they are good. I got to give them a lot of credit. They run the ball. They play good defense. CJ Gardner-Johnson signing was unbelievable. I can't believe picked him up off of nothing. And Ben Johnson's been a good coach. So it's going to be a good one.
All right. We got a major controversy that we got to solve here. There's something going down that ain't right with the Niners. I'm going to share the screen on this one. This is just not right. Sometimes you see an injustice in the world and you just got to stand up and say something about it. And this is that time. All right. Warriors going right now. They're losing 54-41 at home to OKC, national TV, I believe. I'm not sure it's national TV actually, but it's an 8:00 start for whatever reason. Anyway, guess who's there? The Niners are there. Sky Moore, Kendrick Bourne, Ricky Pearsall, DeMarcus Robinson are at the Warrior game tonight, Raj.
Oh, I didn't know that because I was.
All right, I'm gonna play this, and you tell me what you notice. Tell me what stands out to you about this little video.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. What stands out to you about that video?
Sky Moore's not with the receivers, the Kendrick Bourne and all them.
I mean, they fuck Sky Moore. They're sitting courtside, and he's sitting up there. You can tell he's even looking down at him. Look at this. They screwed over Sky Moore. This guy just had a huge return. What's Kendrick Bourne done?
What's crazy?
Look, he's looking down at him. He's like, hey, man, look at those guys down there. They're down there courtside. I'm up here with this guy with a 1988 sweatshirt.
That's crazy, actually.
Pearsall, Bourne, and D-Rob. Look at the bling on D-Rob, by the way. D-Rob gets courtside, and Sky Moore is sitting next to a guy with a camera phone.
That's kind of crazy. Guy.
Look at that. It's like my boy. They're like, hey, let's go to the Warrior game. And then at the end, I gotta ask Sky Moore about that. That ain't right. Ricky Pearsall doesn't even have a touchdown. He's sitting courtside. Bourne hasn't made a catch in a month. Has Bourne had a catch since Halloween? And D-Rob, I mean, come on, man. D-Rob hasn't done anything.
He hasn't done absolutely nothing.
Sky Moore's sitting in the nosebleeds, and these guys are courtside.
That's actually crazy.
That ain't right. That is not.
I don't know. Yeah, why is he? They did him dirty. Like honestly, that's kind of crazy.
They did him dirty. They absolutely did him dirty.
Yeah, they did.
Oh man, They're lucky it's the bye week. Otherwise, I'll be asking that question. Hey, we're in the locker room here with Sky Moore. Sky, what the heck? Look, you're up in the upper deck, and those guys are courtside. What's the deal? You're the guy who's rolling right now.
Oh my God.
If Sky Moore had made one more yard, that was a 98-yard house call. He got to the one. If he had scored, he'd be sitting courtside.
He should be there with them anyways.
I know, but if he had scored, do you think they would have put him there? No.
They better.
98-yard. He needed a 99-yarder to sit courtside. D-Rob would have been up there.
That's crazy, dude.
And you know why Sky Moore's sitting there? Because he's a good dude.
He's a good player.
They probably said, hey, we only got 3 courtside guys, but we got one right above here, about 10 rows back. This guy's probably like, I'll sit up there. I bet you he volunteered.
Probably.
I bet you Sky Moore volunteered. That ain't right.
And that's
you got 3 guys here, 3 receivers here that together don't have 4 touchdowns, and yet the awesome return guys in the upper deck.
He's been the reason they've been winning, man. Like I said, like you said,
that ain't right.
Like field position matters, and he's put him in good position.
That ain't right. That ain't right at all. All right, well, we won't belabor that.
Crazy work.
It's a cold, cruel world out there for the returners. So, hey, kids, I think you just learned a lesson there. When someone says, do you want to play wide receiver or do you want to be a kick returner? You tell them, I want to be a wide receiver. Wide receivers sit courtside. Kick returners sit in the upper deck. Terrible. It's terrible. But anyway, there you go. All right. One more I want to show you here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is our friend Steve Young. And Steve Young went on with Dan Patrick. And it was really good stuff. And we'll share the screen here. Here is Steve Young talking about, are the Niners, what kind of chances do the Niners have here? And Steve is like the voice of the team in some ways. Here he is with Patrick.
How good are your Niners?
I mean, how well are they coached? I mean, they lose all their stars on defense, especially. They have people out most of the season on offense. And, all of a sudden, Mac Jones is a guy that everybody wants in the league, just like Sam Darnold was. Look at, it's like, let's just tip our cap to the coaching, number one, and let's tip our cap to the culture of the place, locker room, leadership. Obviously, they've got guys in the room that hold things together. And so how good are they? Good enough to threaten and people really, you talk about a tough out. And they're going to be in the playoffs. I think you can almost count on that. And so who wants to play the 49ers? I don't know. Nobody. So, that's for where they are with the personnel and what's happened. It's pretty remarkable. I think we got to tip our cap to really everyone in the organization right now to be 9-4.
How good are your Niners?
Yeah. I mean, Steve said it well there. They got a shot, man. They got a shot. I mean, the bottom line is you don't win Super Bowls in the NFL unless you got a good head coach and a good quarterback, and they got that. And then it's about, can they run the ball? Well, they couldn't last week against the Browns, but the Browns have the number 1 run D. The Niners are going to have to show that they can run the ball a little bit better if they're going to win this thing. And then defensively, they've done a decent job at stopping the run at times, but then Judkins ran for 7 yards a pop on first down. He had more than a few 7-yard runs on first down. I mean, that's really disconcerting to get a 2nd and 3, 2nd and 2, because Dylan Sampson or Quinshon Judkins ran for 7 or 8 on first down. That's happening right now. And they still have they don't have a huge pass rush, and they still have a young secondary, but they have Saleh. And in the last 2 games, they've allowed 17 total points, and they've got 3 turnovers, and they've got 4 sacks. So what do you think, Raj? I mean, we've kind of talked about this a lot already on this stream, but, I do believe between Saleh and Boyer and Shanahan, this is the best coaching staff the Niners have had in this regime. But I also think they got, I thought it was a puncher's chance, but the more this goes, the more I feel like the 49ers might have more than a puncher's chance, especially if Purdy can continue to take care of the football and move around like he did last week in Cleveland. He moved well. He took care of the ball. That's like 80% of the job. If he just does that, they have a shot to win.
Absolutely. I agree with what Steve says. And I know, like, I've been saying these the last couple of weeks and stuff. Like, I honestly feel the Niners are kind of peaking at the right time now. They're getting hot. They're winning games. I don't care who they're playing. You got to start peaking. You still are building confidence. They had a young team, right? A lot of young players on defense. Now they're starting to build momentum. They get this bye week, being in week 14, is actually so clutch. At first, I was like, man, week 14 bye week. It's so good because they get time to recover, rest up, heal up. They're going to get a lot of reinforcements after the bye, right? Tatum Bethune will be back and Sam O. It's going to be nice. And not only that, they got 4 weeks to just boom, right after the bye. They're going to be fresh. A lot of these teams' legs are going to be falling out of them. The Niners, they get to recover, and their legs aren't going to be falling off like some of these other teams. And I think if the Niners make it to play, right, whether they're the number 1 seed or not, they're a dangerous team in the playoffs because they have great coaches. They have timely, players like Christian McCaffrey. Man, this guy's unbelievable. You have Christian McCaffrey, you have a chance to beat anybody. And the team is starting to gel. Like, you have players like Alfred Collins is starting to play exceptionally well on the interior of the D-line. John Lynch talked him up. George Kittle's been talking him up. This kid's been really nice on that line. Again, Cullen Farrell coming in 4 games, 4 sacks. The guy's a monster now. He's never had more than 4.5 sacks in his career. He's going to pass that. Keon White, he looks like the second-round pick that he was in the Patriots. And you know what? I feel like the 49ers.
He was a second-round pick.
He was a second-round pick, man. And, he was probably they used him on the edge out in New England, and he was that wasn't his game. John Lynch was talking about it today on KMBR, and he said, look, man, we envision him as like an interior rusher, like Charles Menahu type guy, and he's fit that role really well. And he's been playing really good. And you could tell, like, he's having fun in this role. He's like super focused. Like yesterday, here's a good example of Keon White. Yesterday, I think Kendrick Bourne was live on Instagram, and he was goofing around, being Kendrick Bourne. He was live. They were doing their photo shoot, like the team photo shoot, where they have them in their uniforms. They'll post these pictures in a couple of weeks, and he was goofing around, him and Mac Jones. Keon White's like, yo, turn that light off. He was like focused. They were just taking pictures, and he was like, he grabbed his phone, turned it off for him. He's like, you didn't turn it off, and he grabbed it again, and the live ended. Like, Keon White is about business, Larry. He's focused. He knows this is the second
chance, man. He's intense.
Second chance in the league because he screwed up. He wasn't performing. He wasn't making, box score numbers. Now he knows, shit, I want to get paid. I gotta produce. And he's produced for the 49ers. It's just a golden opportunity for him to produce and make a name for himself. They got him for another year next year. If he plays really good these 2 years for the 49ers, he's gonna make a lot of money, whether it's with the team or another team. He's still very young. He's a second-round pick. Good player. But what I'm saying is 49ers have a very hungry – you said that the Bears, they're young, they're hungry, they still got that energy. This bye week is going to give this Niner team that energy they need to make that stretch run. And if they make the number 1 seed, Larry, playing the Niners in Levi Stadium with a chance to play the Super Bowl in Levi Stadium, are you kidding me? Who wants to play the Niners? But even still, if they're not the number 1 seed, they're still a tough out because they're going to fight. They've been through so much adversity. No other team in the league has faced with it. So they're going to walk into the playoffs with a chip on their shoulder. They got nothing to lose because nobody expects them to win games. They're going to play with so much clarity. It's going to be amazing. And you know what? They got guys like Kittle. They have guys like Trent Williams. They have these guys that they still need to win a championship before their career is over. They're getting older. They have some really good veteran Christian McCaffrey. Like, they're going to want to play their ass off to get a Super Bowl. It's a good combination of young players, veterans. This team is dangerous, Larry. You play them in the playoffs, they're going to be a tough out.
They, doubt them at your own peril. You know what I mean? Somebody said near you, Ethan says, love being doubted. Yeah. And you know what? There's something about how tough you are when you've already died. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. It feels like they lost Bosa, they lost Warner, like they already died. But they didn't die. And it's like the season keeps going. And then Buffalo loses Ed Oliver. And then, suddenly Kraft goes down for Green Bay. And Terrion Arnold is out for the year for Detroit. And you look around and you're like, the teams are dropping. Guys are dropping across the league. And you realize it's a war of attrition, man. And it's like the last man, they're going to get a break. It's not like they're going to have to go through the toughest gauntlet. Somebody's going to give them a break.
Yeah.
So let's go with, what is your dream playoff road? Because my nephew sent me a note yesterday.
Yeah.
My sister moved to Connecticut. So my nephew's grown up in, even though he was born and raised here as a little boy in the Bay Area. He's almost all of his, my sister moved when he was a little kid, so now he's a Patriots fan, right? So he's a big Pats fan, and they were on last night, and I sent him a note. I said, man, I am dreaming of a Pats-Niners Super Bowl. How amazing would that be? Dynasty of the 80s and partially of the 90s against the dynasty of the 2000s and the Tom Brady Bowl, basically, at Levi's. I think that would be spectacular. But what is your dream road? Because my dream road is just any road where somebody knocks off the Rams for the Niners.
No,
I don't want to have to play the Rams. I feel like Tampa or Detroit or Chicago or Philly. I feel like any of the other teams really might be able to beat the Rams. And that's the one team that I would like to avoid. In my dream scenario, the Niners, Philly, bring it on. Even if it's there, I don't care. I think Philly's waiting to get beat. I think they're hanging around to get beat. They don't look the same to me at all. They don't run it the same. They don't defend the run the same. There's kind of some bad vibes there. I don't know if you saw the story today. It's just absolutely outrageous. Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator and play caller for the Eagles, had his house egged by Eagles fans.
They were egging and rock. They threw rocks and eggs.
Rocks and eggs, man. The faithful would never do that to Clay Kubiak. Nobody's gonna look up where Clay Kubiak is living in Los Gatos or something. And we're gonna get over there. That's because Philly fans are idiots.
Yeah, no, the Philly fans are the worst. They've thrown batteries at players. Philadelphia sports fans are the worst. They gotta be the worst. That's the only reason I wouldn't want to play Philly, because I love
it. Beat them there.
Beat them there would be great.
Oh, it'd be great. Just slap them down in their backyard. I'll probably wind up going to that game.
They're falling apart. Yeah, I'll probably go too. I need a bodyguard, so I'll come with you. They're falling apart, Larry. They're falling apart. I wouldn't hate playing them, but unlike you, Larry, I actually want to play the Rams in the first round. I actually am not afraid of the Rams. Listen,
you just like LA.
The big bad Ram. Listen,
you just want a luxurious trip to LA and
no, I hate LA. I hate SoFi. I hate everything to do.
You hate SoFi? I thought SoFi was really cool.
No, I hate that state. I get a headache, pulsating, fake lights, strobe lights, noise. I can't deal with it. Maybe I'm old, but I cannot deal with SoFi Stadium. I've been there for football games, other events. I just hate it. But anyways, what I'm saying is SoFi Stadium is a home game for the Niners. Do you understand? That is a home game.
Christopher Byers, his bodyguard for hire.
All right, Chris.
Chris, stay nearby, Chris.
Yeah,
stay nearby.
Stay tuned. We'll call you up. But SoFi Stadium would be such an advantage for the Ford. Are you kidding me? You know how many red and gold Niner fans are going to be in there? We'll play a home game on the road in SoFi Stadium. I am not. It's not
even the stadium. It's Stafford, dude. It's Stafford. But the only thing is, I'm hoping Stafford fades in December because he's old.
Everybody's so scared of Matt Stafford, man. I'm not. I might be the only person that wants to play the Rams in the. I want to play them so bad. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, chapter 500 or something. They just, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who's going to scheme against the other better. It's going to come down to, is Kyle going to outcoach Sean McVay or vice versa? It doesn't matter who we have. We could play with you at quarterback, Larry. Is Kyle Shanahan calling the plays? You got a chance to win.
But you've seen me wing it, and I do have a great arm.
You got a good arm.
And huge hands, dude. I mean, I can palm a basketball with these mitts. I mean, I know that hand. I mean, think about that. That hand, just look at the screen.
I know.
My hand is bigger than my entire head.
Your hand is larger than my life.
Seriously. I mean, that is just the world's biggest hand right there. I mean, that's like a Jose Vargas LSU basketball player who could deflate a basketball. That's a monster mitt right there. I do have like 9.25 inch hands. So
you're a beast.
That's a long. I mean, I lifted today. Those are real calluses. Look close. You got to look close.
My God.
All right. I did put up 2 plates today. I'm feeling pretty good about that. At 55, anytime you can put up 2 plates at 55, it's like, you know what? Life's good. Life's good. But my doctor's like, hey, don't lift heavy. I'm like, hey, you know what? Don't tell me what to do. How about that? But he doesn't want me lifting heavy. I should probably listen to my doctor. Anyway, that's a side point. I want to go to Philly in round 1.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind like I wouldn't mind like who else? Where's another place they could go? I wouldn't mind Green Bay. I wouldn't mind like the cold gate, go from Philly and then Green Bay, and then I would love to love. I want the NFC. The greatest game in Niners history was the Niners over the Bears 28-3 in the 88 NFC Championship game. I want the Bears in Chicago in the NFC title game on a freezing cold day. And I want this Keena Turner to go out there. Keena Turner, I can remember, he was like, oh, they thought the finesse 49ers were going to come into Chicago and they weren't going to play. It was the finesse 49ers against the big bad Bears. And the Niners beat them, and the Niners would beat them again. So I would love to be there. Chicago, give me Philly, Green Bay, Chicago on the road to the bowl, and the Super Bowl at home. Oh, in the beautiful Northern California warmth after that freezing cold gauntlet. I would love to see it, man. Oh, I would love to see that. I want Bears and Niners NFC title game in Chicago on the lakefront. Wind howling, horrible weather. Bring it on.
That's good. I mean, yeah, Chicago would be a fun one to see. I don't think they make it that far. I mean, hey, if they do, that'd be a great
awesome.
School, be a good matchup. But I'm
looking at the 40th. Somebody says here, this is the 40th anniversary.
Wow.
This is here it is. Wait a second. The chat is moving so fast here. This is the 40th anniversary of those 85 Bears.
Super Bowl
wouldn't that be awesome? On the 40th anniversary of the 85 Bears, the Niners beat the bad Bears as the road team at Soldier in a freezing cold game in January. Oh my God.
Although I'm just a little worried, cold weather, although Brock played good in the cold this weekend against Cleveland, he silenced the doubters about the cold, but I don't know if I want to take too many cold weather games. I hear
you. But it would be so. Those are great cities too. I'd love to be in Chicago. I got family in Chicago. I'd probably go out there a few days early and really hang out with some family and just talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, no, but I mean, looking at the playoff pick, the NFC's wide open. Like again, there's no one team that I'm like, oh man, we can't play. I don't know, man. I guess the Rams are
wide open.
It's wide open. And again, I know everybody's scared of the Rams. But if the 49ers play the Rams, I'm not scared because we can beat them because it's going to be a home game. It's going to come down to, like I said, coach versus coach. I'm not too worried. They're probably the best team in the NFC if you just look at it on paper because you're right. Philly, they're falling apart. Green Bay, they're inconsistent. Jordan Love, I don't think he's going to be good in playoffs. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, I like them, but they're falling apart right now. They're injured, banged up, and Carolina's nipping on their heels. They might steal that division, which is crazy to think. And then Seattle, I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't mind going to Seattle as well.
I think Seattle would. I think if the Niners make playoffs, well, they probably will. They're going to play. Okay, let's say they play the Rams. They beat the Rams. They'll probably end up playing Philly or Green. Probably Philly. They could beat Philly, and then I think they'll probably play Seattle. And then you got to beat Seattle to make it to the NFC Championship or to the Super Bowl, and that would be phenomenal. You beat the Rams, the Eagles, and the Seahawks, all three of your biggest rivals in the NFC right now in the playoffs. You run it to the Super Bowl and you beat all those teams. You know how much trash talk we can have until the Super Bowl? Oh my God, Larry, please let me have it.
They can have their good, better, and best, and we'll just, you know what? The Niners have to come up with something. Maybe the Niners will do the Dougie. What did you think of Purdy, by the way, on that?
So good, dude. As soon as I saw him,
look at this. We got this here. Look at Kittle's mind just being blown.
His mind was blown.
2-yard touchdown run, Brock Purdy. What deception! 2-yard touchdown run, Brock Purdy.
Look at that.
I loved every moment of that. Listen, as soon as he scored a touchdown, I was like, he did the Dougie. And I was like, he got to hit the clip. My friend, she was like, did he just hit the Dougie? And I looked, I was like, he just did the Dougie. And I was like, I can't wait to post it. And of course, that thing, everybody was talking about the Dougie. Literally every post.
Did you post it with the music though?
Yeah, I did. I posted with the music.
Did you? I gotta get it. I gotta wait hold on a second. I gotta stop sharing. I gotta go to Raj's Twitter.
Yeah, on Instagram, I think I have. No, I think I did post it somewhere on Twitter. I know I posted on multiple places with the music because.
Did you?
I know I did.
I probably not. I don't know.
One of my video, like the video I posted with the music, I got like 1 million views or something on Instagram. I'm pretty sure it went pretty big. But I mean, every Niner account probably posted it with the music. But what I'm saying is that dance was so amazing. And like everybody on post game, Kyle Shanahan talked about, George Kittle, everybody was talking about it. There was so much content just about the freaking Dougie. So, it blew up how we practiced it. And then the quote of the week, God forbid a white guy gets a little bit of motion. That was the best quote of the week.
Who said that?
George Kittle. He says, because they asked him, because Kyle Shanahan, he said,
listen, awesome.
Kyle, he said Purdy was telling us he was going to do it. It was planned. He knew he was going to do a celebration this week. He'd been practicing it. Purdy says he practices.
He says he practiced in the kitchen.
Yeah. And then so they asked George Kittle, they said, your reaction, your mind was blown. And he was laughing. He goes, yeah, I mean, he does a good job of it. And we knew he was going to do it, but seeing him doing it, he's like, he's good at it. And God forbid
he's good at it. He gets the hands out front. Is that how is that? Oh man.
And then he says that and then Larry,
that was classic.
Today on KNBR, I don't know if you saw the quote. Today on KNBR, Purdy says, obviously everybody knew he was going to do it.
Right.
He said he was waiting for the right moment because he was going to do this celebration at some point this season. He says that there was a group of like Cleveland fans like talking trash, booing him, basically heckling him. So as soon as he scored, he knew I have to go do the damn dance move right in front of their face to piss off the Browns fan. Like that right there is so savage. That's amazing. Brock Purdy's got aura, dude. Crazy.
I know. It's amazing. It's amazing. And if he continues playing that well, they're going places. They're going places for sure. All right. Couple other thoughts before we bolt for the door. We're 48 minutes into our live stream. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. We should also tell you thanks to Sleeper for sponsoring the Krug Show. Sleeper is our sponsor and sponsors the whole football season. They're the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. That's right. One-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and, of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. Thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. And also, we should tell you, we're doing our meet and greet next Sunday, December 7th at Pig and a Pickle. Stop by, say hello. Win the Ricky Pearsall autographed helmet, which was given to us by our friends at Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, along the Monterey Peninsula. The great Anthony Catania is at 831-521-5264, and he's offering free shipping on all sports collectibles to Krug Show fans now through the end of the year. So you order a Josh Allen autographed helmet and he sends it to you in Buffalo. Anthony's paying your shipping for that helmet through the holidays. If you know me, you got to tell him that you know me. All right, let's get to a couple last ones here. What is the 49ers' weakest link? There is that saying that you're only as strong as your weakest link. For years, you'd say, it's special teams. No longer. The 49ers are number two in the NFL in special teams DVOA. They have a very good special teams unit across the board, despite the fact their return man is sitting in nosebleed seats. They outside of their return man getting screwed, everything else has gone wrong or right for the Niners special teams unit. So it's not the special teams unit. It's not the weakest link. I asked Brock before the Philly game a couple years ago. Remember that? Not the one that they lost where his elbow got ripped out, but the payback game when he went back there and beat them. And I said to him in the presser that week, I said, hey, I was talking to my buddies in Philly, and the talk shows out there on IP are saying that you're the weakest link. Do you feel like you're the weakest link? And I just knew that was the kind of question that was just going to make Brock Purdy. He's already icy. You know what I mean? Icy competitor. But that was like, and somebody sent me a note saying, Krug, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're trying to doubt him. I was trying to doubt him a little bit. And he played huge. So he is obviously not the 49ers' weakest link, but who is? Or what is? If you don't want to name anybody in particular, go ahead.
We'll name players. So that's a good question because I feel like it's changed a little bbit. A couple of weeks ago, I probably would have said the defensive line, the edge rushers. But again, Keon White and Clelin Ferrell, I feel like they've really started, and they're going to get better with, the more time they play, especially Keon White. I feel like Sam O coming back will be a nice shot of adrenaline for them. He's been pretty good.
Yeah.
They're not getting to quarterbacks, and that does worry me. But I feel like it's going to get better, and Robert Saleh is figuring out a way. So I don't think it's the pass rush anymore. It's still a concern. It's not elite, but it's better than I, would have said a couple of weeks ago. They're getting better. I would have said wide receivers a few weeks ago also because they're kind of not getting a separation. But I'll tell you what, man. Jawan Jennings, since he came back healthy in the month of November, he was really good. I think I posted his stats like 24 receptions, 4 touchdowns. He had like 200-something yards. Pisses a lot of players off. He's the Draymond Green of the 49ers. So the receiving team, I know they don't have like a lot of great players putting up stats, but Jawan Jennings has elevated his game. You got George Kittle. You have to consider him, part of the receiving team, and Christian McCaffrey. So it's not really the wide receiver department or their receiving threats. It's the O-line still. I'm still worried about this O-line. Trent is amazing. Like, shout out to Trent Williams, man. This guy went and battled Myles Garrett. He made Myles Garrett work for that sack. That was a hell of a battle. I don't know if you saw Baldy's breakdown of it. Unbelievable. 2 generational trench players. This is a great matchup. Trent Williams is still elite at his age of 37 years old. Ben Barch,
I think 38. I think he just turned 38.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. He's still playing at such a high level. Much respect to him. Ben Barch out for the season. I told you it was going to happen. I pat myself on the back. I hate to predict it, but he's a wash. So now you got.
I love Ben Barch too. He's a good dude.
I don't think he's a great player because he's never hurt. We don't know. He's a good guy.
He's a great guy. I mean, he's a terrific guy. But I think he's actually a pretty good player. And when he's healthy, he just has a hard time staying on the field.
He's a hard time staying healthy. And they banked on that position. They banked on him staying healthy, and they didn't upgrade that left guard spot. But Burford's played okay, but I'm worried. We know Jake Brendel hasn't been the best. Colton McKivitz, I don't know if he's worth that contract he got. So to me, it's still the O-line. If you can't protect Brock Purdy when the playoffs come, it doesn't matter what you do. So to me, it's the O-line still. I'm still worried about that. And Ben Barch, they should have never banked on Ben Barch. They should have taken a better left guard in the offseason, free agency, trade, draft, something. But they just didn't put an emphasis. They thought Ben Barch was going to stay healthy, and he's never been healthy his entire career. I don't care if he's a nice guy, Larry. You got to get players that are going to stay healthy.
I hear you. The most important ability, as Bob Myers once said, is availability. If you can't make the club in the tub. You can't help your team if you're hurt. So, I mean, I'll say this. I like Ben Barch. I think he's a good football player. But yeah, durability right so far. He's got terrible luck or he's just not that durable. But there've been an assortment of injuries too. It's not like one injury. Some guys have a recurring elbow, recurring knee, whatever. No, that's not his deal. He's had multiple different injuries. I'm going to say Luke Gifford in coverage. I mean, I've seen enough. I don't know more Luke Gifford in coverage. I mean, if this guy gets isolated in pass coverage down the field, I just have no confidence at all. He's a good dude, not a good special teamer, but come on, man. Can't play that guy in coverage. Cannot play coverage. And I don't think Kendricks can play coverage either. So hopefully Nick Martin gets healthy from the concussion protocol and gets back out there, because I think their coverage at linebacker, if they're going to lean on Luke Gifford as a cover guy down the field, I mean, my God, he's nowhere close. He's nowhere close to anybody down the field. That's my big concern. I'm going to share the screen. You mentioned Baldy. Here's Baldy's breakdown on Myles Garrett. This is
so
an all-time Baldy here. Here we go. Garrett against Trent and Baldy. Three all-time greats here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on.
This was so good.
One of the all-time greats was not me because I had the volume 10. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
It's not often we get the best against the best. One-on-one, mano-a-mano, Trent Williams against Myles Garrett. Now, this is first quarter. It's 3rd down and 4 right here. And Myles Garrett sees Kittle come. And watch what he does here. Like, this is a giant, enormous Euro step. Pushes off that right foot. And on one step, he flies by Trent Williams. And he beats him for his 19th sack of the year. And Trent's looking at that going, wait a second. I've been in this thing for 16 years. I ain't never seen it before. He neither. But we played each other a bunch in this game. 9 times, as a matter of fact. Like, here's bootleg. So usually you kind of let him go, but that's Myles Garrett. So he goes and he chases and he hits Purdy on that play. But Trent had his share of wins. Like, this is 9 times, no help, nobody attached. And here he is. He's just running with him. Just running him around the arc right here. Staying between himself and the quarterback. Excellent right there. Purdy can get rid of the ball. All right, now you watch this right here. This is a screen away. So you actually want to kind of invite the rush a little bit, just slow him down so you can screen away. All right, that's the technique on that. All right, here you go. 15 seconds to go in the half. Big play for the 49ers. Big shot down the field to Kittle. Here it is. Trent gives up a little bit of ground. Now he drops the anchor. All right, does a good job right here. And Purdy gets rid of that ball down the field. They get themselves in field goal range. All right, here we go. Now, most guys you can steer with just a one-hand post, but this is Myles Garrett, and he's a locomotive. So even if you try to steer him, he's probably going to get close. All right, but the ball's still completed. All right, here we go. Play action. Play action right here. You're going to need time. So here's Trent at his very best. Like, he just stays attached. He's running with them. He's staying attached. Now he gets him to change direction. He's in great shape. And Purdy can move right here. No problem. Okay, throw the ball away. 3rd and 11 in the 4th quarter. All right, here we go. Crowd noise, bad weather, little crossover dribble. Excellent job right there. Excellent job getting off them, pushing off them. That's a win right there. I'm not saying who's winning, who's losing. This is just 2 great players. Like, you watch this right here. This is just Myles. Little fake right there, and watch Trent recover. Watch the athletic ability. Not many guys can do that right there. Now,
that's crazy.
Sometimes your quarterback's got to bail you out just a little bit. That was a fun matchup, man. It's not often. Not often you get the gold standard one-on-one for 9 plays, no help, just one-on-one in a phone booth.
You know, it's funny. If you say some of the greatest one-on-one matchups you've ever seen in the NFL, I always think of, you know, there's been a bunch, right? I mean, there's a lot of great ones, not just involving the 49ers. I always think of the Washington Hogs against the New York Giants when they had LT and Leonard Marshall. But I also think of two that really come to mind with the Niners. One was Jerry and Dion. You know, Jerry, when Dion was with the Falcons. And a lot of times Jerry, you know, a lot of times Dion wouldn't necessarily take Jerry. Jerry burned Charles Dimry for like 6 touchdowns in one game. But Jerry against Dion, one of my favorites. And then my favorite one-on-one matchup, and it wasn't a one-on-one matchup, it just felt like it, was back in the day, the beginning of the 49er dynasty, Ronnie Lott, Eric Dickerson.
Oh, man.
It was unbelievable. I mean, Dickerson right, Ronnie would destroy him, help him up. He'd go back to the huddle. Dickerson left, Ronnie would destroy him, help him up. Back, I mean, all day. It was amazing. Somebody said Andre Rison against Dion, Charles Haley against the Giants.
Andre Rison Dion was a fun matchup, but Jerry Dion, when they matched up, those good times. But that Myles Garrett, Trent Williams, man, that was
Dion, Michael Irvin in the NFC Championship game. That was some great stuff. I mean, the 49ers and Cowboys had some amazing battle royales. Absolutely. All right, a couple last ones, and then we're out. Who is, in your mind, the most underrated 49er?
All right, this is a good question. I think there's a few of them there, but we got to talk about special teams. Listen, Larry, special teams has been such a revelation. Like you said, they went from last to second. And if you actually count from week 2, when they got rid of Moody, week 2 moving forward, they're the #1 special teams on was it EOA or whatever, EVA or
EPA.
EPA
EPA per
yeah.
play.
They're the number 1 since week 2, which is crazy. But since the season, number 2 overall. They were last place last year. So it's been some changes. Obviously, Sky Moore, I don't think he's necessarily underrated. We talked about him. But there's a guy named Saran Neal. Listen, Saran Neal came in. Last year, they had one of the better special teamers in, what's his name? Odom.
George Odom.
George Odom. He was like a special teamer. He was a Pro Bowl special teamer. And, we lost him and a lot of people or whatever. But Saran Neal's been good, man. He actually, a couple weeks ago, I don't know if you read the story. I think Eric Branch posted it. There was a meeting, like week 4, somewhere around there was a meeting. And Saran Neal led that meeting. And he was like, listen, guys, we need to get better at special teams. We need to make an emphasis on, getting the ball downfield. We got to make wrap up tackles. I feel like he's been a really good addition to the team that nobody talked about Saran Neal. So I feel like he's definitely an underrated guy. He's a big part of the special teams, and the special teams has been super elevated this year. So I guess him, and I guess I'll say on offense or special teams, I'm going to stay with it. I guess Sky Moore, although I don't necessarily think he's underrated, but I don't know if a lot of people are giving him the credit he deserves. This man has been a really good return man. Like, he's going to break one of these days. But yeah, special teams has been great, man.
Okay, so mine, I've got 2 that come to mind. One is, I don't know if you've checked the odds for the MVP of the league, but they've got Drake May, they've got Stafford. Drake May's minus 125, Stafford's plus 125. Then you have then you got Prescott 16-1. You got Jordan Love 16-1. You got Josh Allen 30-1. You got Caleb Williams 50-1. So everybody else, let's see after that. Bo Nix checks in next, 10,000-1. Jonathan Taylor 10,000-1. Justin Herbert 10,000-1. Sam Darnold 10,000-1. Jalen Hurts 10,000-1. Jackson Smith Najigba 10,000-1. Patrick Mahomes, Daniel Jones, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Jahmyr Gibbs. Where's Christian McCaffrey? He is on his way to being the second player in the history of the NFL to have 1,000,000 for a second time. He's the only player. Nobody's ever done it twice. Roger did it once. Falk did it once. Christian did it once. If he does it again, he's doing something nobody has ever done before. He's got way, way, way more receptions than the next running back. Christian McCaffrey's having an amazing year. He's not even in the top 20.
I know, it's crazy.
The Niners are 9-4. He's been the driving force. Kittle's been out. Aiyuk's been out. Pearsall does nothing. Debo's gone. JJ was out. This guy is single-handedly lifting up this franchise by himself as a receiver and a running back, and he's not in the top 20 for the MVP, and he's on pace for the second 1,000,000 ever. The only guy to ever do it twice.
It's crazy. He's done so much this year. Like, did you see what Adam Schefter posted this morning? Like, it puts everything in perspective of what Christian McCaffrey's done. Like, it's actually crazy. So, Christian McCaffrey this year, he leads the league in scrimmage yards this season. He's the third player in NFL history with at least 800 rush yards and 800 receiving yards in his first 13 games of the season since Roger Craig and Marshall Faulk. Third season in McCaffrey's career with 800 rush yards and 800 yards receiving. Obviously, Marshall Faulk did it. He's on pace for, all the stuff he said, 1,000. 85 receptions this season are fourth in the NFL for a running back. Like, it's just crazy what he's doing, and nobody's giving him respect. But unfortunately, Larry, he's never going to be in consideration for MVP because it's a quarterback award. Unfortunately, he should be up there.
Well, why is Jonathan Taylor so high on the list then?
Because, I don't know, there's bias. There's biases on it. And, because the Colts, they weren't expected to be good. So, oh, my God, everybody at the beginning of the season, the Colts, there was a lot of hype on the Colts. But now, again, they're kind of falling off a cliff. They've come back to life, but Christian McCaffrey has been consistent every single week, carrying the beat up, banged up Niners, but they don't give him respect. He should win Offensive Player of the Year, should be in consideration for MVP, but he's probably realistically going to win Comeback Player of the Year. If he doesn't win the damn Comeback Player of the Year award this year, Larry, I'm storming down to NFL offices.
Isn't Dak potentially up for that, though?
He is, yeah.
And I think he may get it. He may get it.
Man. Oh, my God.
Okay, so Christian McCaffrey would be my – I know that sounds crazy, but I would say Christian McCaffrey is the most underrated Niner. Look at what he is and look at how little he's discussed. I watch all these shows, Get Up, this and that, all these just stupid shows on ESPN. They're talking about anybody but him.
I know.
Nobody's talking about him at all.
I feel like
he's not discussed at all.
No, nothing. They never bring him up. It's crazy. And you look at all the accolades he's doing. It's unbelievable. I feel like because they don't average a lot of yards per carry, he's not breaking up big runs. He's not getting like the highlight play, the 20-yard run, the 30-yard run. Like Jonathan Taylor's busted some big runs. So it's kind of nice when you put him on the highlight reel and you're like, oh my God, Christian McCaffrey's just doing the dink and dunk, but he's doing it every play. He's carrying this team. And I don't know why, but the media is just, they're not following Christian McCaffrey. They should be talking about him more because this guy last year was written off. He was done. His career's over. Bilateral Achilles tendon, like the bilateral Achilles and the PCL. People said he was done. If you ask any fantasy football, content creator or anybody that's giving you advice, don't pick Christian McCaffrey. Don't even look at Christian McCaffrey. Don't even think about him. And now, look what he's doing, man. It's unbelievable. Christian McCaffrey, put some respect on his name.
All right, so that would be my answer. Be Christian McCaffrey. Would be the most underrated 49er. But I'll give you a close second. It's Yatir Gross-Matos. He's having a tremendous year. He's having a tremendous year as an interior rusher.
Stop it.
No, I'm serious. This guy is really a difference maker inside this year. He's finally come of age, and when he has played really, really well. And they're getting him back. And watch what he does. I think their pass rush is going to improve significantly when Yatir Gross-Matos.
He's going to go back. He's going to come back one game and get hurt again. He's played 3 games, Larry? He's coming back.
I'm telling you,
he's going to go back out.
He's playing at a high level. He's playing at. I'll say this: he is playing at a very high level. Wait and watch for him to come back and watch what he does.
You've got to be rage. You've got to be rage baiting me right now.
No. I like him.
No way. Ben Barch and YGM are one and the same. You got to be.
No, Yatir Gross-Matos look at his grades. He's graded out really highly. Really highly. So he would be my underrated guy. He's very underrated. Very underrated. He's a strong pass rusher right now. I'll give you another guy who's an underrated player is Jason Pinnock. Jason Pinnock is an underrated football player. And I'll give you one more that is really underrated. And we love him. He's a great guy. But since he's an interior guy, doesn't sack the quarterback, nobody talks about him. But Lynch this morning was talking up Alfred Collins. And the Niners love Alfred Collins. Yeah. Love him. They love how he's improving. They love his attitude. I will say this, man. He went up to Nick Bosa and was like, I want to copy your approach, your diet, your training methods. I mean, he's serious about being good. And, that's the one thing that none of us, like when we're watching guys in the draft, we don't meet them and we don't know how hard they work or how dedicated they are or how important football is to them. Those are things that we can't measure those things. They do get a chance to meet all these guys. They do get a chance to talk to some of these guys. And that's the major advantage. And obviously they got it right with Collins because they love Collins and he's a gigantic man who seems to be getting better every week. All right.
Real quick, Larry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess when you told me the question, I thought it was like super under the radar player. That's why.
Well, there aren't that many. I mean, for you and I, we cover the team on such a level that there really aren't anybody who's we've pretty much talked extensively about
underrated. I mean, but I said when I heard your argument, I was like, yeah, I 100% agree.
He's just underrated by the rating system.
By the media, yeah. But to sit here and tell me YGM and Jason Pinnock are, come on, man. You don't believe a word you're saying with those.
No, I think they're underrated. I think most people don't think those guys are good at all. And
they're not.
I think Pinnock is really dependable, smart player, and I think Yatir Gross. We'll just say this. Watch when Yatir Gross-Matos comes back and tell me if you think the 49ers pass rush is appreciably better. And if it is, then come back, tell me you're wrong. If it's not, then I'll come back and tell you I'm wrong.
Okay. When he comes back and then he pulls his hamstring, I want you to say
well, he's somewhat fragile. Right? He's somewhat fragile.
Somewhat.
All right, couple last ones here.
Oh my God.
Most valuable Niner in his first year with the team.
Man, that's such a good question because you could sit here and make an argument.
There's a lot of guys.
It's down to two though for me. It's down to two. I'm gonna say it comes down to two players, and that's gonna be Eddie Pinheiro because man, the special teams was it was in for a rough awakening if they would have kept Jake Moody. But shout out to Matt Gay, he held it down for him. But Eddie Pinheiro, man, this guy was
great call.
So good for us. Or the other one, who I'm gonna say is the answer. It is very close. It's razor thin. Mac Jones. It's got to be Mac Jones because I don't think the Niners would have been able to be where they're at when Brock Purdy went down. Mac Jones held it down for us. He helped us win games, beat the freaking Rams, man. That was crazy. It's Mac Jones by a hair. It's close. Those two, Eddie Pinheiro and Mac Jones, have been absolutely amazing. First-time Niners. They've both been key contributors to winning. But, man, Mac Jones, when you lose your starting quarterback, most, like you said earlier, most teams barely have one good quarterback. The Niners have two good quarterbacks that could start. Like Mac Jones could be starting on a lot of these teams, probably get traded this offseason and help the Niners get either a draft pick or a good player or whatever. There's a lot of players that are going to be traded this offseason. And Mac Jones is going to be a key catalyst in allowing that to happen most likely. But I don't want to lose him because he's been a very good backup quarterback. You need a good backup quarterback, especially if you're the 49ers. And to me, the answer is Mac Jones.
Eddie Pinheiro and Mac Jones. That's who you got. I'm going to go, since you picked two, I'll go with two as well, and I'm going to go with two different guys.
Okay.
I'm going to go Bryce Huff and Upton Stout. I think Bryce Huff is just outstanding.
Okay.
He gives them a real threat, man. Every game he's in there, he's a threat off the edge. And because of his speed, you got to block the thing a certain way, and he's obviously better with Bosa, but even without Bosa, look at the Niners in the game when they didn't have Huff or Bosa. Oh, my God. There was a game or two in there. It was rough. It was really rough. Yeah. But with Huff in there, they got a fighting shot. I think Huff has been damn good. So I'll take Huff. And then I love Upton Stout, man. I don't care what the numbers say. I don't care what this guy can play for me any day. He's violent. He's smart. He's intense. He's dominant physically. He's small, but he is tough.
Yeah.
I love Upton Stout. What a phenomenal young player he is. He's such a smart player. He's such a violent player. And to me, that's what I want. That's what I want in my defense. I want 11 smart and violent football players, and that's what he is. So he's awesome. I love him. So I would go with Huff and Stout. You're going with Eddie Pinheiro and Mac Jones. I don't think there's a wrong answer, to be completely honest.
No, those are good answers.
49er defensive coordinator next year. Who's it going to be?
This is sad to say, but I don't think it's going to be Robert Saleh. I want him. I need the Niners to just walk into his office one day and give him a blank check and say, listen, whatever these teams offer you this offseason, you can double it, triple it. Well, I don't care how much money you put on that check, Robert. We need you, but it's not going to be him. I think it's going to be Gus Bradley. I think that's their backup plan. I think the moment Robert Saleh leaves, which is going to be a very sad day in Ninerland, I think they've already insulated that, and I think they've already made, Gus Bradley the heir apparent. I think he's going to be, because, there's Robert's right-hand man. It's Gus Bradley. I feel like it's going to be the DC. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's Robert still, because this man has changed there's no way. Like we talked about earlier, Kyle Shanahan, the Niners wouldn't be, where they're at this record without Kyle Shanahan. You'd put in another coach, Vrabel, Dan Johnson, with this team, with everything they've been through, and I said they wouldn't be 9-4. The same thing without Robert Saleh. There's no way they're 9-4 without Robert Saleh. That was probably the biggest addition the entire offseason. Not player, but just overall biggest acquisition this offseason was getting him, because he makes Nick Sorensen look like a 5-year-old coaching a team. This man, Robert Saleh, is a real coach, unbelievable, and he's changed the fortunes, man. He's amazing. Brian Baldy said today on 957 The Game that he believes he should win Assistant Coach of the Year. There's nobody better than him this year as assistant coach, DC, OC, whatever. I hope he stays, but I think it's going to be Gus Bradley.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I'm going to go Gus Bradley as well. I think that Tennessee is going to hire Robert Saleh, and then he's going to take Mike LaFleur, the OC of the Rams, with him. And I think Saleh and LaFleur are going to go to Tennessee.
Wow.
And I think Bradley's going to stay behind, and he's going to be the DC. And I think Shanahan's going to be really happy with Bradley for the next few years as the defensive coordinator. That would be my guess there. All right, 2 last questions, and we bolt. If you could add one player to the Niners roster for the playoff run, not LT in his prime, not some fictional player, and not somebody who's not gettable. It can't be like, Mahomes. It's like, okay, yeah, thanks for that, Sherlock. No. Somebody who's gettable. So it has to be pretty marginal player, right? Because, nobody's really available. Trade deadline's come and gone. Laken Tomlinson was cut today. Darius Slay was cut today. Javon Baker, wide receiver from the Patriots, worked out with the Niners earlier this week. Taylor Elgersma worked out for the Niners earlier this week. There's still practice squad guys if there's somebody that you like. Go ahead. Give me one player, if you could add to the Niner roster for a playoff run, you would want to add.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Laken Tomlinson. At the end of the day, there's not a lot available. Like you say, you can't make a trade. You need to beef up this O-line, get some depth. You never know what's going to happen. He's been on the team before. I think it'd be fun to have him. Trent Williams and Laken Tomlinson were magical a couple years back. It was great. Although I think Burford's played pretty well, and, I think he's going to come in there and start. But if anything happens, I think you could plug in Laken on that left guard spot, and at least you have him there for depth and just in case, man. And I think it'd be nice because this O-line needs depth, man. They're falling apart. O-line's a tough position, and as the playoffs come around, you want to make sure you have depth at everywhere, especially line, because you just never know what's going to happen. I like Laken. I know he's older. He may not be the same player, but you need depth, and it's hard to get O-line depth. Might as well bring him in. Bring in Laken.
I mean, think about it this way. If you suffered an injury with Burford or with Pooney, who would play?
Exactly.
You'd have to play either Connor Colby or Matt Hennessy, I guess. Or maybe I guess you could play Pleasance at guard.
Yeah.
Or maybe you would call Nugent off the practice squad. But, I mean, even then, Nick Zakelj. But, I mean, I think there's a major step down there. So, yeah, I like that idea of Tomlinson, really. I mean, I think that's solid. And not only that, he's a great guy. So he'd fit in the room. I'm going to throw out another name, though. I like Eugene Asante, who, I really liked him in the draft out of Auburn. He's a hard-hitting linebacker. And I just really think linebacker is a spot. I mean, you've got lots of collisions. Bethune's hurt. You've got Curtis Robinson last week. I think it was pretty clear that Curtis Robinson is getting beat up. He's not used to playing all those snaps, and he's playing a bunch of snaps, and now his body's falling apart. D. Winters has been on and off the injured list. Nick Martin's in the concussion protocol. Jalen Graham is a young player, and then you've got Kendricks there, and Kendricks' numbers last year in coverage were just horrible. So I think I would pick up a Eugene Asante, who's a youngish linebacker. He's on the Browns practice squad, and he's just a very violent hitting player. And I'd like to have one more linebacker, even if I had to move some bodies around on the practice squad to make it happen, or move some bodies around on the roster to make it happen. But yeah, Eugene Asante from Cleveland is the guy that I'd be looking at. All right, last one, and let's finish with the big finish. And we should tell everybody the big finish is brought to you by our friends at Habbas Law. They will fight to make it right. Love Habbas Law. They're a great sponsor of the Krug Show. We appreciate them greatly. They do some amazing things, and their support. They're first of all, we're glad to have them as a sponsor, but really proud of all the initiatives that they do in the community that really raise up our community. And now is a time of year where hunger is hitting the community hard. Families are trying to hold it together. Veterans are quietly struggling. Join Habbas Law and the Habbas Law team in the fight against hunger with Loaves and Fishes. Loaves and Fishes is a lifeline, serving hot, dignified meals, no judgment, no barriers. Join Omar, Tariq, and the Habbas Law team. Visit loavesfishes.org. Habbas Law, fighting to end hunger, fighting to make it right. 1-800-INJURED. Habbas Law on the web, HABBAS law.com on the web. They're involved in these kinds of things, and I really do care about the community. I know you guys do as well. So thanks to Habbas Law. If you need a great lawyer, call Omar and Tariq Habbas. They're absolutely phenomenal PI attorneys, and they will fight to make it right. 1-800-INJURED is their number. Tell them that Krug sent you. All right, last question. Then we'll hit our supers and bail here. And we're already an hour and 21 minutes in, and we want to get out of here in the next 9 minutes. All right. What in the heck is going on with Brandon Aiyuk? I mean, I don't want to get into an all-night discussion, but Shanahan was asked about him, and this is what he said. This is Shanahan on whether or not Aiyuk can come back during the regular season. I'm definitely still hopeful, but I'm not counting on it. Okay. So what does that mean? And then Lynch was asked about Aiyuk this morning on KMBR. And he's like, is it realistic to think that Brandon can come back? And he's like, realistic? I'm not sure. Hopeful? Yeah. I think that's where I'd leave that. We're a better football team when Brandon's out there. But that's probably what it is. Hope right now. So what is going on? The coach and the GM are hoping that he comes back, at least publicly. They've taken away his guaranteed money. They claim it's just business. How could he possibly want to come back and play for them at all, let alone with no guarantees? What is going on here, Raj? Explain this to me. I know there's a long Nick Wagner, ESPN.com article that goes on for 19 paragraphs explaining every aspect of this thing, but explain it to me. Explain it to our audience. What is going on with Aiyuk? Do the Niners dislike Aiyuk and he's never going to play for them again and they're going to release him or trade him in the offseason? Or does the ownership and Parag not like Ayuk's contract and his money, and it was all about that, and now that the money's gone, it's like, hey, we still love you, Aiyuk. Is Lynch and Shanahan are separate from Parag and Jed and the Niner money people? This is the first time that the Niners seem like they're not in unison on something. If I'm reading this right, it seems like Lynch and Shanahan are open to him playing for the team this year and maybe even beyond this year. And Parag and Jed have kind of set it up so all that guaranteed money is gone. And I don't understand what's going on here. What is going on here? If somebody said to you, hey, Raj, you're all about the Niners. RSF 49ers, you're all up in the Niners. Explain it to me like I'm a 2-year-old. What is going on with Brandon Aiyuk?
At the end of the day, I think it's all of those things. It's all those factors. But at the end of the day, listen, 49ers, they've avoided his contracts, right? His guarantees, like John and Kyle explained, hey, he violated rules. We can't just let that slide because then other players are going to do that. You got to do what you got to do. If you're breaking the rules, if you're not showing up, they're going to void your money. I'm sure there was some dissension among Aiyuk and the team. There was last year, right? He tried to get off the team. He wanted to play for Washington. His whole contract situation was wild. And they finally at the 11th hour got it done. And there was a lot of drama surrounding it. He didn't really ever I don't think he wanted to be here. I think he was tired of being with the Niners, but the Niners paid him a lot of money and hey, money talks. And I feel like at some point it was okay, got the money I want. And maybe the Niners are all right. He's happy now. We gave him paid. He's going to be a Niner. And then during that whole training camp, it was weird because he came in, he had the shorts gate, wore the red shorts and said, just follow the team rules. And it kind of spiraled out. He didn't play good, got the injury. And then here we go again. You thought he's going to be focused, rehabbing. He wasn't showing up. Did he trust the training staff? I've heard that maybe he didn't, which I don't blame him for that. Niners training staff should be trusted. But at the end of the day.
But you got to communicate that then. I'm sure there are people that trained away from the Niners.
You got to communicate that. And there's players that don't train on this, like Bosa and everybody, but maybe he didn't communicate because they said there was failure to communicate. So at the end of the day, no matter what, you have to tell your employee what just say, I'm not coming up, but I'm going to still do my thing. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. But if you're not showing up, they're going to have to fine you. They're going to have to do what they got to do, the powers that be. And at the end of the day, I think they say, hey, look, man, if you're not going to show up, we're going to void this money because maybe you're not going to be here next year. We don't know if you're even going to play XYZ. You got a bad attitude. Although he was coming, remember Kyle said that he was helping the receivers, helping the Hankerson. So I don't know. There's some weird stuff there. There's got to be something else that transpired. Maybe there's some dissension amongst the ranks, like I said. But at the end of the day, man, this whole situation's wild. And I don't blame him for wanting him to play. You're going to a playoff run. If you can get a player of his caliber back into the roster, it's going to help. And also, if you are going to trade him, if you don't go the route where you cut him, post June 1st, if you're going to trade him, Larry, you owe it to yourself to at least see if he's got something. Because if he plays good, it brings his value up. Now, if he does bad, you cut him and you just see if some team is going to pick him up. For him, he's going to say, well, now I just got to prove myself. But at the end of the day, if you bring him onto this roster, he could help. Maybe. I don't know. You get some.
Are they talking him up, though, because they're trying to trade him?
I think that's part of it. Yeah. So whatever they're doing now is to help boost his trade value because they're saying, hey, water under the bridge. It's whatever. It's old. You want to say that because if teams call you and say, hey, yeah, his attitude's good now, you're not going to tell him, he's a piece of shit now, whatever. You got to play it nice. You got to play the business. And if he does play and he looks okay, like, look, Dre Greenlaw played like a game or two last year. The injuries, they knew they were probably getting rid of him, right? But they had to get him play, and he looked fantastic, right? So it was good for Dre Greenlaw last year. It helped him get signed to a team. I don't think if he would have came back, if he didn't come back and played that great game against the Rams last year, he probably wouldn't have made as much money on another team, is what I'm saying. So I think for Brandon Aiyuk, it's good. He needs to come back. For himself, if he wants to make more money, he needs to come back and play at a high level. But I just think he's been immature. He's tackled this wrong. And Niners are probably tired of him, but they can't say that. You can't just throw a player under the bus. You're still under contract technically this year. So you got to be nice. Kyle and John aren't assholes. They're not going to sit there and throw the guy under the bus under the, in the presser. Maybe behind the scenes, they're probably saying stuff. But end of the day, it is what it is. If he comes back and plays, great. But today, after today, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, there's no chance he's coming back. What they said today, that what Kyle Shanahan said, he said he's hopeful, but I wouldn't. He said I would not count on it. That's the first time he said it all year, and I was like, yeah, he's done.
Somebody said call TJ Hushmanzada and see what he has to say about it. He's BA's mentor. Do I dare stir the pot with getting TJ Hushmanzada on the Krug Show? TJ, what's the truth with Aiyuk? That could be good. Yeah, I mean the whole thing is just it's like it seems like they want to move on from the money. Now they've moved on from the money. Now they're like, hey, we still like you, and it's like it's a weird situation. Somebody said trade Aiyuk and Mac Jones to Minnesota for Jefferson. Man, if you could make that deal, that would be the deal to make. Oh my God, Minnesota's desperate for a quarterback, and Mac Jones is definitely a good quarterback. So. Mac Jones has value. That would be something, though, man. That give Brock Purdy a Jefferson. The Niners' offense right now is one Jefferson away from being one of the all-time great offenses in the league. Don't you think? I mean, Jefferson, Kittle, CMC. If you had Jefferson, they're one dominant receiver away from being. Oh, it'd be amazing. It'd be absolutely amazing.
Crazy.
All right, let's hit our supers and we'll bolt. Here we go. We got 12 and we're going to roll through them quickly. We've got this one. Titus Moeller's in the house. What's up, Titus? He says, I've got a helpless feeling when it comes to Jordan Watkins. It feels like he may never become a presence on the team, and I have no idea why. Roster politics. I'll say this. I will stake my name to it. Jordan Watkins is absolutely going to be a good NFL player and a good 49er. Absolutely guarantee it. Well, does it happen in the next week? Does it happen in a month? Does it happen next year? I don't know. Not sure when it's going to happen. but I know what I know. And I've watched this guy do it in the SEC. He's got great speed. He's got great hands. I saw him this summer. Raj, you saw him as well. He looked great this summer. He had a fantastic training camp. He is going to be a good 49er. I'm absolutely convinced that. Jordan James, no idea. Jordan Watkins, I feel absolutely confident he's going to be a very good 49er. I don't think it's roster politics. I just think he's young. He's raw. They got other guys. Receiver is the weirdest position. In college, it's like they show a gigantic card that's like yellow. And then you're like, oh, okay, I know what to do. In the pros, it's the layers of complexity compared to that are off the charts. It's night and day difference. MSQ says, teach me how to Dougie. You get your hands out front. You know, you got to have a little rhythm. Niner forever. Niners magical Super Bowl run incoming. Ooh, wouldn't that be something?
It's coming, Larry.
Oh, dude, if that happens, I mean, I'm going to have a monster month.
Yeah, we all are.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. We are going to party. We are going to go. We're going to turn Super Bowl week into the biggest freaking unbelievable event. I mean, it's just going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. I can't wait for it. Niner Forever says sign Tomlinson and Darius Slay. Okay.
Do it.
A vote for those two guys.
Do it.
MSQ, they were probably like, oh, since your name is Sky Moore, we'll sit you high in the sky. LOL. Claw Daddy Arcades is a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades. Weighs in. What's up, Claw Daddy? He says the greatest song to storm the Bay Area airwaves in the 80s was We're the 49ers. We won't stop until we hit the top. We're the 49ers. We're out of sight. We're out of sight. I forget exactly if I do remember that song. I had the single. Performed by the Niner players. Meanwhile, the Bears have Ben Johnson's chant. The Bears did make the Super Bowl shuffle in week 8. I mean, think about that for a second. That
week
is
8?
Week
That's
8.
Crazy.
Could you imagine if somebody did that now? They put up a Super Bowl song in week 8. They'd be.
Can you imagine? Yeah, they'd be like, oh,
people would be roasting that team forever. Oh, can you believe those guys? B. Kirsch says, nice to see you believing again, Larry. You said they'd go 2-2 after Brock came back. Appreciate the content grind. You and Raj do. Go Niners.
Appreciate you. That's good.
Don't stop believing. Don't stop believing. Billy Kennedy says, would Boyer be a good replacement for Saleh? I don't know if he can coach defense.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, let him stick with the special teams role. He's like specifically his ST guy. Just stick it there. He's good there. I
mean, Sorensen had a hard time transitioning.
Yeah.
Claw Daddy Arcade says 80. Did we just get that? 80s vibes, synth lace keyboards, Lot Keena, Guy McIntyre, Eric Wright on lead vocals was peak 80s 49er vibes. Blessed to have been a kid during that era. Yeah, it was. It was great. Great times. PWS, since 2002, the Niners have either missed the playoffs or have made it all the way to the NFC Championship game for each season that they have made the playoffs. That's what I'm saying, man. If the 49ers are in the playoffs, good luck. Good luck to the rest of you. Because the Niners have a hell of a coaching staff and a pretty good quarterback and a lot of guys with experience. Just saying.
Just saying.
Anthony Catania's in the house. Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. We talked about him earlier. He says, love the show. Raj, what's up? Everyone go to Pig and a Pickle this Sunday. This team is special. Something magical is about this team right now. Yeah, I get that feeling. Anthony, I get that feeling as well. There's a magic vibe about the Niners. And every game that goes by that they continue to roll, I mean, at some point, what if they just continue to win? And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a second. If the Niners somehow went 4-0 to finish the year, there'll be a lot of people saying they're going to run the table in the playoffs.
Happening.
Be awesome. Blood Moon says, BA gone. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan confirmed this. Ego ruined his career. I don't know. Did they confirm he's gone? No, because they can say.
That's what I was saying. If you read between the tea leaves, it's, I mean, like I said, today, at the end of the day, man, like they haven't flat out, they kept saying hopeful, he's good. Today it was like, there's no, let me pull up the exact quotes were, let me see. because I thought the same thing too, Blood Moon. I thought it was like after today, I was like, oh, he's done, bro. Like he's gone.
I saw the quote. It's "We're not here to cause no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle."
No.
That was the Super Bowl shuffle lyrics, but it was not today's quote. But go ahead.
But he says, I'm definitely still hopeful, but I'm not counting on it. Like when you got your head coach saying you're not counting on it, that's huge. And then he also said, like, what did John Lynch say? He said,
wait a second. We have a report coming across right now through the chat. I think this sounds official. Aiyuk done in Frisco. I think that could be Peter King who's putting that out.
I don't know.
I'm just joking. It's one S May.
But oh yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. John Lynch was asked this morning on KMBR, is it realistic to think that Brandon Aiyuk will come back this season? He said, realistic? No. Hopeful? Yeah. So basically, they both said, hey, it's not happening. They told us it's not happening without telling us it's not happening. When your GM and your head coach say it's not realistic, don't count on it. Larry, it's not happening.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
He gone.
He gone, as Hawk Harrelson would say. And we gone. And that's going to do it for us. Raj, have a great night. What do you got cooking? Tell people where they can find you and all your different, you're a monster in the biz. Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, RSF 49ers on all platforms. That's it. Just follow me there.
There you go. Short and sweet and to the point. That's going to do it for us. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks to Raj. Thanks to our sponsors, Pig and a Pickle, Sleeper, Habbas Law, and thanks most especially to all of you guys. Join us in Corte Madera on Sunday for the Krug Show meet and greet. Until then, peace.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get